China's electric vehicle (EV) industry has experienced rapid growth, becoming a dominant force in the global market. The country's success can be attributed to a combination of government incentives, substantial investments, and a strong domestic demand for EVs. As a result, Chinese manufacturers are now setting their sights on the US market, signaling tough competition for American brands. A significant factor in this growth is the support from the Chinese government. They have introduced a variety of incentives to encourage both consumers and manufacturers to adopt electric vehicles. These include generous subsidies for buyers, tax incentives, and policies that simplify the process for automakers to produce and sell electric vehicles. These initiatives have effectively reduced the cost of EVs, making them more accessible to a broader range of consumers. Additionally, the government has invested heavily in building charging infrastructure, ensuring that there is a robust network to support the widespread use of electric cars. Looking at the numbers, the transformation is evident. In 2024, the sales of electric vehicles in China surged by over 40%, while sales of traditional gasoline-powered vehicles saw a decline. This shift highlights the growing popularity of electric cars, signaling that they are no longer a niche market. Overall, vehicle sales in the country rose by 4.5%, reaching 31.4 million units, with car exports growing nearly 20%. Electric vehicles played a significant role in this growth, with exports of new energy vehicles, including pure battery EVs, fuel cell cars, and plug-in hybrids, increasing by 6.7%, reaching 1.28 million units. It's clear that EVs are not only gaining traction within China but are also expanding globally. Chinese automakers have made significant strides in improving the technology behind their vehicles. They are innovating in areas like battery efficiency, charging speed, and overall vehicle performance. As a result, Chinese-made EVs are now competitive with established global brands, offering a wide range of options that cater to different customer preferences, from affordable models to more premium ones. Furthermore, technological improvements have made electric vehicles more practical for daily use, with advancements like shorter charging times and longer driving ranges. China's ambition to expand its presence on the global stage is clear. More and more Chinese EVs are entering markets in Europe and other emerging regions. In 2023, China overtook Japan to become the world's largest exporter of passenger vehicles, with nearly a quarter of those exports being electric cars. This shows that China is not only focusing on its domestic market but is also looking to dominate the global EV scene. In addition to manufacturing vehicles, China has built an extensive network of charging stations, one of the largest and most widespread in the world. This infrastructure makes it easier for consumers to adopt electric vehicles, addressing one of the major concerns about EV ownership, the availability of charging stations. With such support, it is no surprise that more people are switching to electric cars. Additionally, Chinese automakers are ensuring that their vehicles are affordable, making the transition to electric more accessible to a wider audience. Chinese manufacturers have also become experts at competitive pricing, making their EVs difficult to beat both in China and abroad. The Chinese government's financial support, including tax rebates and other incentives, helps local manufacturers keep costs down. For instance, BYD, a major Chinese EV maker, received substantial tax rebates, which allowed them to reduce production costs and, in turn, lower the prices of their cars. This has helped Chinese automakers gain a competitive edge in the global market. Another key advantage for Chinese manufacturers is economies of scale. Chinese automakers have mastered mass production, which allows them to lower production costs as they scale up. The more cars they produce, the cheaper each one becomes, which enables them to offer better deals. This strategy has been particularly useful as Chinese manufacturers increase production to meet both domestic and international demand. When expanding internationally, Chinese companies often set prices lower in foreign markets to quickly gain market share and establish their brand. This aggressive pricing strategy helps boost sales and makes their vehicles more appealing to international consumers. Once they've established a presence, they can focus on building long-term profits and customer loyalty. Another way Chinese automakers keep costs low is by localizing their supply chains. Instead of relying solely on imports from China, many manufacturers have set up production and supply chains in other countries. This strategy helps them avoid import tariffs, reduce shipping costs, and mitigate delays, making it cheaper to produce and sell vehicles in these markets. Chinese companies are also known for their ability to adapt quickly to market trends and consumer demands. They are adept at making changes to their designs and features to better meet the needs of different markets. Whether it's improving battery range or reducing charging times, Chinese automakers can pivot quickly and ensure that their vehicles remain competitive and appealing to consumers. In terms of technological advancements, Chinese EVs are not only known for their affordability but also for their cutting-edge features. Battery technology, in particular, has seen major improvements. Chinese manufacturers are focusing on producing batteries that are longer-lasting, charge faster, and are safer. BYD's Blade battery, for example, has set a new standard in the industry, offering a cost-effective and durable solution for EVs. Chinese automakers are also making significant strides in autonomous driving technology. Companies like XPeng are at the forefront of developing advanced driver assistance systems. XPeng's vehicles incorporate partially autonomous driving, using artificial intelligence to enhance safety and convenience. These innovations appeal to tech-savvy consumers who are looking for the latest in automotive technology. Chinese EV makers are known for their rapid development cycles, bringing new models and technological features to market faster than many of their competitors. This quick pace of innovation helps them stay ahead of the competition, ensuring they are always offering fresh, relevant options to consumers. They are also integrating artificial intelligence in ways that make the driving experience more personalized and intuitive. Features like voice control, customizable settings, and predictive maintenance are becoming more common in Chinese-made EVs, making them smarter and more user-friendly. As Chinese automakers continue to expand globally, they are increasingly targeting markets in the US and Europe. While Chinese-branded vehicles are not yet common on US roads, Chinese companies are exploring ways to enter the American market, including setting up manufacturing plants in Mexico to avoid import tariffs. This strategy has raised concerns among American carmakers, who fear losing market share if Chinese automakers succeed. In Europe, Chinese manufacturers are making significant progress. Brands like BYD, Milligram, and NIO are offering affordable, tech-packed electric vehicles that appeal to European consumers. BYD's G6 SUV, for example, is set to launch in the UK and features automatic speed adjustments based on road signs, competing directly with Tesla in terms of technology. Chinese manufacturers are also forming strategic partnerships and acquiring facilities in Europe to strengthen their presence. There are discussions about Chinese companies purchasing Volkswagen factories that are scheduled for closure, which would help them increase production capabilities and avoid tariffs on Chinese-made EVs. While European and American automakers are concerned about the rise of Chinese EVs, some industry leaders believe that collaboration between Chinese and Western companies could help foster healthy competition and innovation. Mercedes-Benz's CEO, for instance, suggested that the EU should encourage Chinese companies to set up factories in Europe to boost competition within the industry. However, not everyone is on board with the increasing presence of Chinese automakers. Governments in the US and Europe have started implementing regulations that could slow down their progress. In the US, a new rule bans the sale or import of vehicles with connected software from countries deemed to pose national security risks, including China. This regulation could prevent Chinese automakers like Polestar, which has ties to Chinese manufacturers, from entering the US market. The rise of Chinese electric vehicles has certainly disrupted the traditional automotive industry. Chinese manufacturers are producing cars that are not only affordable but also technologically advanced, putting pressure on established American and European brands. These traditional automakers are now scrambling to rethink their strategies and invest more in EV development to stay competitive. In response to the fast pace of innovation from Chinese carmakers, traditional brands are increasing their research and development efforts. Many are also partnering with Chinese companies to tap into their expertise in EV technology. For example, Volkswagen has invested heavily in XPeng to co-develop electric vehicles for the Chinese market. The shift in the global automotive industry has also led to changes in policy, particularly in the US. The government has imposed tariffs on Chinese-made EVs to protect American manufacturers from being undercut by cheaper imports. At the same time, they are offering incentives to encourage domestic production of electric vehicles. In response to these challenges, traditional automakers are diversifying their portfolios, exploring different segments within the EV market, and looking for new opportunities in emerging markets. The reception of Chinese EVs in global markets has been positive, particularly in Europe. Chinese brands have gained a 2.5% market share in the European EV market in 2023, and experts predict that this figure could rise to 10% by 2034. Consumers have praised Chinese EVs for being affordable without sacrificing quality, with models like the BYD Atto 3 and Milligram for receiving high marks for their tech features and performance. However, Chinese automakers face challenges in Europe, particularly due to tariffs that have increased the cost of imports by up to 35%. Despite these hurdles, the overall trend remains positive, with Chinese manufacturers continuing to grow their market share in Europe and beyond. Chinese electric vehicles are making a significant impact on the global stage. In 2024, sales of new energy vehicles reached 4.25 million units, a 41.07% increase from the previous year. This growth is a clear indication that the world is warming up to the idea of Chinese-made EVs, and the competition in the electric vehicle market is set to intensify. While trade barriers, especially tariffs, have created challenges for Chinese automakers, they are shifting their focus to other global markets, particularly Europe and Asia, where demand for affordable, high-tech electric vehicles is on the rise. From an environmental perspective, Chinese electric vehicles are playing a crucial role in reducing carbon emissions. As the world continues to move towards more sustainable transportation options, China's push for electric vehicles is helping to drive significant environmental improvements both domestically and globally. The adoption of EVs in China is helping to reduce the country's carbon footprint and is contributing to the global shift towards cleaner, greener transportation. People are increasingly prioritizing sustainability when making purchasing decisions, and electric vehicles, EVs, are seen as a good option. The main reason many are choosing electric cars is because they're better for the environment. People aren't just looking to save money on gas or enjoy high-tech features, but they're also motivated by the desire to reduce pollution. Research shows that environmental concerns strongly influence people to buy EVs. In addition, policies such as penalties on traditional gasoline cars and incentives for EV buyers are encouraging more people to make the switch. These factors are shaping how transportation is viewed. However, the shift to electric cars comes with challenges. Electric cars may not be as environmentally friendly as they appear. For instance, in China, studies show that electric vehicles can cause more harm to public health than traditional cars in some cases, mainly because of pollution from electricity generation. If the electricity used to charge EVs comes from coal or other polluting sources, the benefits may not be as significant, and electric cars could still contribute to pollution. This highlights the complexity of transitioning to a greener future, which requires more than just replacing gasoline engines with electric ones. On top of these environmental issues, the government is introducing new rules about connected vehicle technologies, especially those related to national security. The US has decided to restrict the import and sale of vehicles using software or hardware from China or Russia. The concern is that foreign governments might use these technologies for spying or cyber attacks. The restrictions will be phased in, starting with software in 2027 and hardware in 2030, giving automakers time to adjust. The focus is on technologies like infotainment, navigation, and autonomous driving, which are increasingly used in modern cars. These new regulations could be tough for automakers with strong connections to Chinese companies, like General Motors, Ford, and Polestar, who rely on Chinese tech for some of their vehicles. The government's main goal is to protect not just personal data, but also national security. This new rule has caused some concern in the auto industry. Manufacturers may have to find new suppliers, which could raise costs and complicate production. Existing models might also need to be redesigned to comply with the new rules, potentially causing delays and extra costs. The effect of these restrictions might also spread beyond the US, as other countries with security concerns may follow suit, creating challenges for Chinese automakers looking to expand globally. To overcome these obstacles, Chinese automakers are exploring creative ways to enter the US market. One option is building factories in Mexico, which could reduce shipping costs and avoid high import tariffs on Chinese-made cars. However, US lawmakers have expressed concerns about national security and the potential influence China could gain over the US auto market. Another strategy is forming partnerships with established US automakers, like Nissan. This would give Chinese brands access to Nissan's distribution network and help them enter the market more smoothly. Chinese automakers entering the US market could shake things up for American car companies. On one hand, the competition could lead to lower prices and more choices for consumers. On the other hand, domestic companies might need to work harder to maintain their market share, especially if Chinese brands offer affordable, high-tech EVs that appeal to American buyers. The issue of national security remains a concern, with lawmakers watching closely for any increase in Chinese influence in the US auto industry. What are your thoughts on these developments? Leave a comment, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.